Hello and welcome to Student Voice. I'm Logan Rigsby. It's often been said that a picture is worth 1,000 words, but what about when you discover the image you're looking at is different from how the subject really looked? An example of this is the famous but historically inaccurate painting by the Boston Massacre by Paul Revere. This image and others like it were used to motivate colonists to rise up against the British, and there are many other examples of the governments using images to persuade their own citizens as well. Journalists have made the mistake of altering images to enhance a news story, but when they're found out, the story becomes an accusation of fake news. And finally, in most advertising, we see beautiful people selling us products that will make us beautiful too, but at what cost? How do manipulated images impact us as a society, and what could be done differently? Joining us today to discuss the topic are Austin, Kristen, and Isabella. Welcome, y'all. Also along with us, we have our Intro to Mass Communication class connected online. Hello, Mass Communication class. First off, in class we talked about a couple of cases where images were manipulated for various reasons in newspapers and online journalism. Is there ever a situation where this is okay? Maybe Austin, if you wanted to start.
I can think of when they did the Boston Marathon, how they changed the blood from red to a different color and how they edited out some of the gore and the bloodshed and mismeasurement of body parts and everything else.
Okay, yeah. So basically the image is too gruesome, and maybe we're kind of trying to edit that so family members aren't affected in that way negatively. I think that the other area where photos are manipulated is in advertisements, especially those seen in a glossy magazine. What are some of those things they do with those images? Isabella?
In some of those magazines, they tend to either make people look taller, maybe a slightly different hair color change, make the models or the people in there look thinner, which it could end up making the viewers think, mainly from preteen to young adult, that, oh, I have to look like that, or I have to be just like them, when in reality, you do not have to.
Mm-hmm. Like slimming models' waist and lengthening legs and enhancing thighs, that kind of thing, which is kind of an unrealistic view of ourselves. So what's the message that's being sent by those advertisements? What's the impact our society is seeing on those manipulated images? If you want to talk about that some too, Kristen.
Well, I definitely think it's sending a message of this very idealistic reality of what people should be versus what they really are. A lot of unrealistic expectations are set by these ads and by these manipulated images of what we should be, when that's just not what humans are. So the impact is that a lot of people are sheltered from the horrors of the world, basically, with, manipulating things like the Boston Massacre and things like that. At least that's my opinion.
Yeah, agreed, absolutely agreed. Kind of related to this, what do we think about like a school photo and how it would be edited out to get rid of that awkward teenage acne kind of thing, something that you might not have in the future but you did then?
I think personally, I would have been okay with it if my school had offered that, but I know for some people they probably didn't want that, but it just honestly depends on who the person is.
Mm-hmm.
In the chat, Jasmine Daly said that she thinks it's poisoning a lot of young girls' minds, programming them to think that that's what they have to look like, basically.
Sure, yeah. Yep, okay, perfect. Yeah, I think that's all pretty on point. I think that it's hard enough in today's society to have enough respect and confidence in yourself without someone telling you that you're not good enough times 2, times 4, times 10. So yeah, that's all great. And I think that's going to wrap it up for this episode of Student Voice. So everyone out there, have a great day and stay tuned for more episodes.